Hello Year 10, you can hear my voice. I've just realised that I cannot switch the camera around partway through a video, so I'm going to show you the computer screen and just talk to you. So this is the start of the PowerPoint that I have set you on assignments, and it should be up on Teams ready for you to have a look at. I did put it up at the very beginning of lockdown, and some of you have done and started this work, which is fantastic, but some of you need to catch up. So the first task I set ages ago, even before lockdown started, and I put it on to show my homework, and I asked you to complete 2 observational drawings from one of your new photo shoots. Okay, so you should have done those photo shoots way back. If not, then you are going to need to do a new photo shoot to keep you updated. Okay. And it says, if you do not have access to those, then take a new photo shoot or draw from real life, but it has to relate to the final direction you've chosen. So, for example, I know that Sophie was looking at decay. I know that Alice was looking at decay. I know that Hilaire was looking at party time. So you need to make sure that you are sticking to those directions that you've chosen. It then says the observational drawings have to be as big as possible, depending on the size of paper obviously you've got available at the moment. And it can be done on any materials that you've got available to you at the moment, because I know things are a bit tricky. So as best as you can, at least 2 observational drawings completed from a recent photo shoot. If you've already done this, then that's fantastic, because I know, I'm pretty sure Harry, Hilaire, I'm pretty sure Sophie's done them and Alice might have done them as well. I know a couple of you have already done this, and that's great, so don't worry about it. But those of you who haven't, please make sure you catch up by doing this. Okay, this is the really, really important part, and this is where I need you guys to really catch up and get going on this. Because I am not there with you, because you don't have those lessons with me, it is up to you to get off your own backs and do this on your own. You need to start thinking about your final piece. I'm not asking you to do your final piece. I'll be clear on that. I don't want you to do your final piece just yet. But I need you to start thinking about what it's going to look like, what idea you're trying to get across. So, you know, when you look at a piece of art and you think, right, what is that artist trying to tell me by doing that painting? What are you trying to tell everybody else by doing it? Okay. Obviously, as I just said, don't complete the final piece, but you will need to start planning. So the task that I want you to complete by the summer holidays, before they start, is a final piece plan. Now, the next few slides are examples of planning that has taken place by the students. Okay. The next slide lists things you need to complete to create your final piece plan. So on a board or a sheet, if you haven't got that, don't panic. I would just like you to collect the bits or the parts of. So, number 1, it says an explanation or a statement of how your final piece will represent your chosen final direction. What message you're trying to get across with your art piece. That bit is really important. Images from the artist your final piece has been inspired by, and written an explanation of how you've been inspired by it or them. It shows those of us who are looking at it where your thought processes are going. So an explanation and examples of the techniques and materials you will be using for your final piece, and why you think they're appropriate. The printed photograph, your own photograph, that you will use to complete your final piece of. Okay, so again, it has to be your photograph. It can't be a picture of an artist example. This one needs to be your own picture that you will be painting, drawing from, etc. Okay, and you need to explain why you chose this image. Why that image apart from all of the others. And an explanation of what material you're going to be completing your final piece on. So it's not just what you're going to complete it in, be it watercolour, acrylic paint, pencil. What are you going to do it on? So is it going to be a piece of wood? Are you going to do it on a large sheet of paper? Are you going to do it on canvas? Okay, so you need to think about that. All right. And then I would like you to do a mock-up of your final piece. So I would say this is an A4 screen, so roughly the size of A4. I would like you to do a practice basically of your final piece. Now, it does say fully presented on a board or a sheet like you would have done. Some of you don't have access to that, and like I said, that is fine, but I do expect all of these other pieces here to be completed. Okay, now this is an example. All right, so you can see this student here has got their own photographs and experiments. They've experimented with composition and different ways of placing their scene. They've then done a brief mock-up, testing it out. They've also got their own photographs, okay? And there's the final piece. All right, flicking back, you can see where their plan has come from. And you will notice that they've made notes and annotated their ideas and their thought process. All right, so this is the sort of thing I'm expecting from you. All right, this is another example. So if we go closer, you can see that they've thought of different compositions using origami. All right, they've tried out one here. They've tried out another composition here. Again, they've obviously not thought that they've worked. They've also got their own photographs that they've taken, and then they've got their final piece mock-up, so their practice piece. Okay? And this is an actual final piece plan. So again, you've got photographs, you've got mock-up ideas, and a practice piece. And there's the final piece. Again, practicing with materials, you can see that they're trying out material ideas. They're trying out different composition ideas, different background thoughts. Okay, so all of this needs to be thought about. Again, different compositions. Is it going to be landscape? Is it going to be horizontal, so up and down? All right, they've thought about background colours. Yeah. Again, they're looking at compositions, different ways of holding the head, different things in the background. So is it going to be hummingbirds or is it going to be the sun and the moon, etc.? So they're trying out different ideas. This is showing development, which is a massive element of the assessment criteria. Again, there's some practice pieces, so small final piece tests. Again, second idea, so this is a different piece. So we've got some practice pieces again. They've tried different colours. All right, they've tried different layouts and different patterns. They've got practice patterns and pieces there. And then they've decided that this bigger one here is their better idea. And then they've done the mock-up piece of it there. Okay, so you can see that there is a flow for this whole process. Again, trying out different ideas, trying out different compositions, the way things are placed in the piece. Okay, again, annotated, fully thought out. And again, the final piece, mock-up or practice piece that they've done. It really, really needs you to think about that development. It can't just appear from nowhere. Your final piece needs to come from all of the work that you've done beforehand. So if you've been using lots of acrylic and watercolour, then your final piece needs to be done in acrylic and watercolour. You can't all of a sudden decide, actually, no, I want to do printing. So you need to keep things flowing through so it shows that development of ideas. All right, so here's another one. Photo shoots, annotated, different compositions. Again, they've thought about different compositions. They've thought about adding hands in there. Okay, different ways of positioning the bodies. And then they've decided on that as their final sort of mock-up piece. So they've tried it out and they've decided that that will be their final piece. So all of your coursework produces your final piece. It should flow the whole way through. Yeah, I don't want little bits coming from out of the blue, out of nowhere. So if you've been looking at decaying fruit, for example, I don't want you all of a sudden looking at, I don't know, for example, horses. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It needs to flow, and to produce a final piece successfully, it needs to clearly link with the rest of your coursework, the artist research that you've done throughout your work, and also with the materials. Now remember, I don't want a final piece completed, so don't worry about a final piece, but I do want you to think about that process leading up to it. You will have until Christmas time, hopefully, depending on what happens with the whole coronavirus thing, you will have up until Christmas to get that final piece finished, but we'll play it by ear and see what happens. But I need a plan thought about and presented and put together. Okay, so I will let you read that AO4 present bit. This is the last part of the 4 assessment criterias. Okay, so this bit is about your whole project and how it combines together to create a final piece. Okay, so these are some final piece examples. Again, I don't need you to do your final piece just yet, but the examples are here just to give you an idea of the sorts of things and the quality definitely the quality that we are looking at. Not only that, but thinking about composition. So I've given you guidelines there for Final Piece as well to look at, and you've got the assessment criteria there. So guys, I'm going to have to do it that way. Hopefully you can see me. Hi. Yes, my hair's short, by the way, and I will explain that another time. But hopefully that makes sense and you understand all of it. Like I said, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, I will be free and available for you to speak to all the way through to 11. I know some of you have already said you can't make it, and that's fine. I totally understand. But I expect to see as many faces as possible. Just to check in, say hi, show me what you've done, give me some ideas, discuss your ideas. Just let me know how you're getting on. It would be great to hear from you. Or if you've got any questions, or if there's anything that I can do to get for you, help you, just let me know. Right, I'm going to sign off now and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.